All right. Hello and welcome to another two episodes in one week Football is King podcast. Now, some of you might notice to our avid watchers that we may or may not be wearing the same clothes as we had in the podcast that we released yesterday. But that's just because we are very adamant about consistency. We did not record these on the same day. That did not happen. But you know what we do have that is consistent with the last episode? We have a sponsor for this episode, and his name is John Stichkowski at Crit Realty LLC.
John sells txhomes.com.
John sells txhomes.com. If you're trying to sell your home in the state of Texas, he is the realtor for you. He has such wise words of wisdom. He's a wise human being that he got us our most views on YouTube ever. So good for him.
If it's less than $600,000, don't call him.
Okay, I don't know.
He's a luxury realtor. He's a luxury realtor.
Oh, he's a luxury realtor. I did not know that part. I was like, John.
No, I don't think that's true. He'll take.
I was like, John, if you don't approve of that message, let us know, and I'll.
He'll take any less. He'll take.
He will take all work that he can get.
Rhonda Stichkowski would appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. This is the NFL episode of the week. So if you missed it and you have not tuned in to our 54-minute college football episode, you're going to want to tune in. But yeah, today we're going to talk about the No Fun League because it strikes again. Because after watching a whole weekend of professional football, these refs, they didn't do anything atrocious, but like the taunting penalties have got to stop. I'm sorry. It's got to stop. I'm done.
There was one that was absolutely atrocious. You just saw the dude lean over to the guy he just tackled, and it was taunting.
As soon as you look down, that ref is just dying to just be like, ha! Yep, flag. You look down.
Oh, it makes me so mad.
I'm sorry. The one for the Chiefs, what is that lineman's name? 79 or whatever. That was offsides every single play.
Well, yeah. That's not what we're talking about. You're talking about our boy Jawan Taylor, number 74.
Yeah, Jawan Taylor.
Who not only false started every play, but also was in an illegal formation on every single play.
Every single play. It made no sense to me.
It looked awkward, and he gave the play away. He gave the play away on every play, whether it was a run or a pass, because of the way he lined up. Because on a run play, he didn't line up 10 yards in the backfield.
Does he always do that?
I don't know. He's new to the team. I've never watched him before.
They said he did that last year, but you can't call that you can't make that call at the end of the game when you've let it slide
the whole entire game.
What's even worse is even with a extra step and a half, he still sucked.
Yeah, he did. Honestly, I think it hurt him because he got too far back.
Yeah, he was too far back so they could cut inside.
Hutchinson had 5 steps to make a decision what he was going to do, and it was like if you would step closer to him, he would have less of an option. You'd hit him a lot sooner.
Yeah.
My other question about Juwan Howard or wherever the hell his name is
Taylor
Juwan Howard, the coach of Michigan basketball.
Yeah, is
he will punch a fool.
Is the foot tap, regardless of everything else he did, when he's tapping his foot, would that not be a false start also? Would that not be a penalty?
He's not in a 3.
He's not. He's not. His hand's not on the ground, so he's good.
Yep.
Okay.
But I will say there was a couple plays when legit, like they were pulling him somewhere. He was behind the center by the time they snapped it. He was so far over there. I was like, what are they watching?
It was bad.
But you can't let it slide all game and then decide to call it in the most important part of the game. Like, you can't do that.
Honestly, though, in my opinion, the refs actually had a pretty decent weekend. There was nothing.
There was a couple. The taunting calls are what get at me. That's just you wanting to throw a flag.
Correct. And the taunting calls is going to be the refs that are like the lawyers that have read the definition that the league gives them for taunting, and they've like scrutinized every single word of it, and they're like, "Oh, nope, he stared at him. Throw a flag."
That's the old whites. The old whites.
Yeah.
But overall, there was nothing
crazy though.
There were no game-changing calls. It was a pretty good weekend for the referees, which
is not.
It's going to be a rare statement on this podcast.
Yes, it is. This upcoming week, there will be a situation much like we had with Seattle like 3 or 4 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever that was, when Russell Wilson threw up the Hail Mary. Referee.
Yeah, no,
the other referee.
Those were replacement refs, though, so it's
I
fine.
agree, but they weren't any better or any worse than the real refs.
My thing is, okay, like the taunting.
They were way worse. The replacement refs were way worse.
They were way worse.
They were way worse. They were awful.
But being way worse than the regular refs is not like that's embarrassing because the regular refs are terrible. Like
are also
really not a good look. But can we just tell the refs, hey, we don't need to call taunting? We actually, as spectators, we actually kind of enjoy the taunting. Like it's kind of fun.
I saw a tweet that was perfect. It was like, we ask these dudes to put their health on the line every single week and make these humongous hits against each other, and then we taunt them for looking at somebody, or we call a penalty for looking at.
I was gonna say we need to redefine what taunting is. Like, if this guy is just like going to town on somebody
if you're
and saying
someone
atrocious things, like, all right, let's give him the penalty. But when, like, oh shoot, who was it? There was a wide receiver who just absolutely mossed a guy for a touchdown, got his feet in bounds, whatever, dropped the ball and stared at him and definitely called him a bitch. You could read his lips. Whatever. Taunting. Let it slide, ref. That's a great play.
If you make a good play, an emotional moment, you're going to do crazy stuff.
Now, if while the corner is laying on the ground, and as Shane said, if he Halo-style teabags the guy up and down, let's give the guy a taunting penalty because that's uncalled for.
Yeah.
But honestly, the fans like it. The fans like it also. It's like, why? Who are we hurting?
Last night, when Zach Wilson made that touchdown catch, if he would have teabagged the corner, if he would have pushed him on the ground. Garrett Wilson would have pushed the corner on the ground physically and then teabagged him, I would not have been mad. I would be like, yo, you deserve that. Like, you made an absolute
catch that was, yeah.
You made an absolute miraculous catch.
He turned a pick into a catch.
Yes. That's exactly what he did. So why are we calling penalties over petty shit? Like, that's like getting pulled over by the cops for speeding and then getting arrested for having a dime baggie of crystal meth. Like, you pulled me over for speeding. Like, what are we doing for crystal meth here? You know, like,
I was gonna say getting arrested for going 1 mile over the speed limit or something.
Oh well, I mean that's probably a better analogy, but you know what I mean. I mean, come on, like, let's be real.
Overall they were fine.
Overall, the rest are fine. All right, let's get into the headlines. The first thing that we got to talk about is, do we do the joke? You know what? We'll just say this. Insert Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles on 9/11 for the New York team joke there. That's what we'll go with there. Which, you know what? Very sad for all people of New York, the date 9/11 is. And it's just an unfortunate thing that their season has ended. Which,
bad for all Jets flying anywhere. That's all.
That's true. And our avid Football is King listeners will actually go back to when we first talked about the Aaron Rodgers trade and how all of us said, hammer the under for the Jets win total.
Hammer it.
And those who listened are going to make a serious amount of money. Now, I know that they did win the game, but we'll talk about that. Now, let's talk about the Jets and Bills. It's hands down the biggest talking point over the weekend. If we recorded this podcast on a Monday, we probably wouldn't have talked about it. But we recorded on Tuesday, and so the Jets and Bills game is the biggest game of the week. There's a lot of things to unpack. The number one thing, obviously, is the Aaron Rodgers injury. Are they
what a moment.
Do they bring in a new QB or do they stay with Zach Wilson?
I think you got to ride with Zach Wilson. I do.
Look, no, here's my thought. I thought about this today. Do you go to the Colts and trade for Gardner Minshew?
No.
I think you're more likely to go after a guy like try to convince Matt Ryan to come back, or because you're going to get him for 1 year. You're going to get somebody for 1 year. Phillip Rivers.
I think you got to stay away from the really, really old guys because their arm talent really takes away from your offense. I think you stay with Zach Wilson.
I think you stay with Zach Wilson ultimately.
But
I don't think it's a wise decision.
Jameis Winston might not even be a bad play. My thing with
that
Zach
was the one
Wilson,
name I thought of too, was Jameis.
My one thing with Zach Wilson is this. Even in the fourth quarter of that game, when he would go down, you're used to seeing linemen come to pick him up. We all know what happened last year where he was like, everyone hated him. His whole team hated him. Even in this game where his team didn't even have to like him because he came in the year knowing he was never going to play, supposedly. He would go down and his teammates weren't even nowhere near around him. And that to me is what's.
But watching Hard Knocks, I would disagree with that. Like, it seemed like he was a likable guy.
My thing on Zach Wilson, got to get rid of the do-rag, my guy. You cannot.
Yeah, well, Aaron Rodgers is giving hell for that.
Wear a do-rag that is also hanging out of the back of your helmet. Like, I'm sorry, you are not Deion Sanders. You cannot be doing that.
On Hard Knocks, Aaron Rodgers is giving him hell every time he's helmeted, and Zach Wilson would be like, I sweat, man, and it's like, well, everyone sweats. You're doing that because you think you look cool.
No, you can wear a cap. Like Kellen Mond used to have the swimmers cap. You can, if you want to prevent sweat, like you can do something without it being a do-rag hanging out the back of your helmet. That is definitely for looks.
Zach
Wilson last night,
bang the MILFs of New York or New Jersey.
He thinks it helps him with the moms. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it does.
I will say last night, what a buzzkill, man.
Yeah.
It was like, I was actually excited to watch the game.
Oh, I was too.
Watching the introduction, him running out there, it was black, and all the fans were so loud.
The American flag.
The pictures are going to be incredible. His Twitter header is going to be fantastic in about 3 days. But what a buzzkill, man! When he went down, I was like, no way, that's a Achilles, because he stood there, and then just went down, and I was like, no way, it's an Achilles. I thought maybe high ankle sprain or something. Then when he got carted off, I was like, oh, he's toast.
Which also, high ankle sprain at age 40, not
good
either.
But that's like 8 weeks versus 52 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
not a pretty sight though.
I told y'all I thought this was a work. My first thought was this has got to be a work. I was like, this is BS, because he literally, the play got ended. He stood up. And then he just looked over to the sideline and he just, okay, I'm going to sit down. And I was like, what is going on?
I think he strained his calf in preseason. And so I thought my only thought was maybe he thought, oh, I just re-aggravated it. I'm going to just fight through it. And then he realized when he stood up, like, oh, shoot, I can't walk.
The question is the strained calf, is that the new, like for example, Joe Burrow has a strained calf. Like, are we on... We need to be watched. Which I mean, when I watched Joe Burrow pull up in that video from practice, I said Achilles done. Like, I thought he was done.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Durant did it, strained calf, and then tore his Achilles.
It could be they don't know that it's. Do they need to actually look more into it and do a is there, I guess what we don't know is that for Achilles, is there like hey, we can do a pre-op surgery that is going to prevent this, or is it you just got to let it blow?
Yeah.
I don't think so, because when you blow it, they pretty much replace it.
Pretty much.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't just sew it back together, they replace it. The struggle is I'm on board with the grass fields now, because when you watch the play, if he was on a grass field, that grass would have gave out. At some point, the turf does not give at all.
But that one. A lot of times, I feel like Achilles injuries are non-contact injuries, and this one was he was getting tackled.
Well, yeah, but I think the grass would give with that.
Yeah, but
he had a 300-pound dude laying on him.
Yeah, I mean,
but the leg is behind him. The cleat gets stuck in the grass, which causes it to bend. Crazy way.
That's fair. But like Joe Burrow, injures himself running on natural grass, just running.
That is that's like a freak accident.
I know, but I think also a lot of it has got to do with proportions of the muscles I think Christian McCaffrey gets hurt because his quads are so ridiculously big. I think he overworks certain parts of his body, which puts more strain on ligaments or tendons because of which muscles. Like, I think that's just a fact. That's just like, I think certain athletes don't
They
don't work out their body proportionally, and that leads to injuries.
I think some of I will say that I didn't understand the full grass versus turf debate until about the last 24 hours because I've been reading about it.
Yeah.
But the OBJ play in the Super Bowl when he tore his ACL.
We all know we are on team grass.
Yeah, you got to go to grass.
Because
your cleat gets stuck.
Yeah.
Instead of the force going to the foot and breaking free in the grass, it is going all through your leg because the cleat can't break free.
I just think that tackle on a 40-year-old man could injure him no matter what.
Could, for sure. But I think there's a better chance of that not happening plus the strained calf also doesn't help. But I think there's a better chance of that not happening if you're on grass.
I think his leg was already so weak that the twisting
that's
motion,
possible. Kevin Durant,
because it was his plant foot on the twisting motion. So I don't think that really. I think if it's in grass or turf, the cleat is going to be stuck into the ground. Man, look at us with just like so much conjecture here as scientists. We know about the turf, we know about the fields, but I think honestly, it was going to be bad regardless. He was going to be out for some time, maybe not the whole year. But I
don't disagree because Kevin Durant did it on a basketball court and it's still after a strained calf.
Yeah. The problem is the play itself, we've all talked about, didn't look that bad. It's the whole aftermath of it. Like
once you saw
I couldn't even tell what was happening.
Yeah, no. So full disclosure here, I was in a movie watching the Gran Turismo movie. Throwing back to our childhood video game.
Yeah, really.
Racing simulator, not video game. While I'm watching my movie, I come out and it had recently happened. I'm looking at all the things on the internet. I'm watching the videos, and it looked like an ankle, which is what everyone was reporting at the time. And if you watch the video, his ankle gets caught underneath. So I was like, he's 40 he's 40 years old. His ankle got caught underneath him. It makes sense. And then when you start to watch all the social media doctors that are legitimate doctors, but also they're famous for social media, they're like, this part, they were circling this part of his calf looking like this and balling up, guarantee you it's Achilles.
There was one angle that I saw. I didn't see it till today, and it was obvious. As soon as you saw the foot go or the foot start bending, you saw it pop. And then I was like, okay, it's toast.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I didn't see it till today. There's only one angle. I saw what we saw watching the game, and I was like, bro, this does not look bad. This has got to be an overreaction.
You could see the calf ball up a little bit. But I thought maybe it's just because he overexerted the calf a little bit. But that was because it was popping. Would you, if you're 39, do you rehab that or do you retire?
I'm retiring.
I'm on team Aaron Rodgers should retire, but he won't.
He won't.
No, he won't. I'd be going to a darkness retreat, taking my ayahuasca and calling it Gucci.
I will say, I love Aaron Rodgers as a player. Not overly fond of him as a person, but as a player, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But
it was an electric atmosphere, though.
And as a person, as a person that even the general public who don't even follow football, everyone knows of Aaron Rodgers because of politics and stuff like that. The memes were great.
Oh God! Did y'all see Keith Olbermann? Holy hell! He was saying, basically, you deserve this because you're unvaccinated.
That's not what I'm saying. I like the meme of him going into the blue tent and them saying Darkness Retreat 2.0. Great meme. Like just like the memes of Aaron Rodgers.
You weren't talking about the serious ones.
No. I'm talking about just like the joking. Like Aaron Rodgers is one of those people that everyone can joke about because even the people that don't follow football enough know enough about him to make jokes. I'm talking about legitimate jokes of Aaron Rodgers getting hurt in week 1 was funny.
Yeah, well, the one thing that Blake says is ironic because it's like, well, his owner is pretty fond of the old jab.
Tailbacks.
And then there's old A-Rod who is not fond of the old jab. And
or like,
I can see the memes flying on that one, which I'm not tuned in the interweb as y'all are, but that is.
I got to find the Keith Olbermann one. Is
well, like there was another one that I saw that was like, ankle injuries are common injuries amongst horses. Ivermectin is a very common medicine used for horses. You know what we should do to Aaron Rodgers? Take him behind the barn and just put him down.
Here's a Keith Olbermann classic here. One of the doctors said could be a Liz Frank injury, and he said Keith Olbermann said another sudden Liz Frank due to failure to vaccinate. What?
I actually do have ivermectin at my house currently.
There you go.
It's a good.
All right.
It's good drug.
I know that Aaron
Rodgers. Who is Keith Olbermann? Sorry.
He used to be on SportsCenter.
I was gonna say I know that name from somewhere.
He used to be on SportsCenter. He is a straight up needs to be locked away lunatic freak. I mean, he is crazy.
Ultra vaxxer.
Oh, he's like, you died of your foot falling off? Vaccine. You should have got the vaccine. If you had the vaccine, that foot wouldn't have fallen off. Like, my God.
I think I can see his face now. White with the spiky hair.
It's gray hair with glasses.
Yep.
Yeah. He's the worst human of all time, I think.
Yeah,
well, probably not. But all right. We could talk about Aaron Rodgers all day, but unfortunately we cannot.
Rest in peace.
We're already significantly behind schedule.
If only he had got the vaccine.
Speed through it. There are other things that we got to talk about in this game, and that is Josh Allen Madden cursed? He got the Madden cover and then 4 turnovers.
He looked horrible. His interceptions weren't even like – it wasn't even like –
2 of them, I swear, he was throwing to number 3 from the Jets.
He was arm punting.
I was like, yeah, he was arm punting for sure. He was like, oh, I see that guy down there. Let's throw it deep.
I have this thing where I'm like, it wasn't even like corners or safeties like jumping routes.
No.
It was like, no, I'm throwing this 85 yards and just see what happens.
He needs a haircut too. His hair outside the bottom of it
looks he looks bad.
That's what I said when he first ran out. I said, hair Josh Allen? What is this?
Yeah. My favorite moment from the game, actually, though, does not come from Josh Allen being a buffoon. It comes from Garrett Wilson being a buffoon. And that was on Breece Hall's extremely long run.
Gosh.
Garrett Wilson starts to celebrate immediately. And then Breece Hall gets caught so fast.
Well, you see him realize after he puts his hands up, see him realize real quick, like, oh crap, I better do something.
Yeah, it's so good. It was
great. You talk about benching people, I would have benched him for that. Like, because if he would have made that block, he would have legitimately scored. That's a touchdown.
I don't know if Garrett Wilson could make the block.
He was behind him.
He was behind him by a bit, but
Breece Hall was running out of gas.
It cracked me up to watch him just be like, yeah, oh shoot.
No, that was terrible.
Yeah,
I also think that I told y'all I think Stephon Diggs is going to be asking
he's
for
fine.
a trade out of Buffalo.
I'm telling you, he's just mad that they lost to Zach Wilson. He's fine.
Allen just has these plays where he just goes like mind blank and he just throws stuff up.
But I mean, if you're Stephon Diggs, there's only a couple quarterbacks that you can go to where you're going to have a chance. And they probably can't afford you.
And and Josh Allen is I still think Josh Allen is one of the dudes. He just has these boneheaded even when he ran the ball once last night, he was probably about 6 yards short of the first down.
And he tried to jump.
This dude thought he was going to hurdle 3 people.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, just go down. You're not going to hurdle 3 people.
Hey, I would trade Michael Thomas for Stephon Diggs right now.
I think anyone would take Stephon Diggs.
Anyone would take them, but they can't. Like the Chiefs would love Stephon Diggs, but we can't afford him.
We can straight up trade Michael Thomas for Stephon Diggs. That's a fair straight up trade.
Except for the Bills say no in a heartbeat.
Yeah. No, it'd be fair for the Bills.
If Diggs wants the same amount of money, he's going to go to a team that's not a contender.
Yeah, he's going to go to the Chargers.
Buffalo is his best chance.
The Chargers would be considered a contender. He'll go to like
the Raiders,
the Bears, or the Cardinals.
He can't be that unhappy. He's the best wide receiver by far on that team.
Also, he got a ton of targets last night.
Yeah, he scored a ton for my fantasy team.
He's just such a diva. He
was just upset that they lost to the Jets without Aaron Rodgers, which is fair. He doesn't like to lose games.
It is fair.
And it was dumb mistake. I mean, it was really dumb mistakes.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen played like absolute.
Josh Allen did not have a great game, and he won't have a good season because of the Madden curse, which is just a fact. Except for that one time that Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl after it, but that's fine. All right, let's talk about the end of the game. Electric. One of the best ways to end a game, in my opinion, is a walk-off punt return.
That was awesome.
It's so fun. My question is, will the Buffalo Bills petition that there are no punt returns allowed in overtime after they lost an overtime game because of it? Because they won the coin toss. They won the coin toss. They got the ball, and they still lost because of a punt return. So you know that they're going to petition that you can't do punt returns in overtime.
Maybe so. Allowed. Hey, just go to college format.
No, I would be.
That's what it is. Bills are going to petition for freaking college format overtime.
I would be firing my special teams coordinator this morning is what I'd be doing. That's
dude,
what
if I'm the freaking Dallas or the New York Giants, I definitely am doing that.
The crazy part was they were on the broadcast. They were acting like that trip was so obvious. When you watch it in real time, that dude is falling down. It wasn't that obvious.
I don't even know what trip you're talking about.
Exactly. On the broadcast, there's a guy at the end on they were on
coming down
25. He starts falling forward, and so his feet go behind him, and he trips up a guy. It wasn't like he kicked out or anything like that.
Oh, on the return?
Yeah.
At the 25-yard line, they're already in field goal range. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. That was my point. Was like, that doesn't change anything.
It looked like me running the 100-yard dash at the Tennessee Titans.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Yep.
He did trip him. He did not do it on purpose. And on the broadcast, they're like, oh, this has to be an asterisk. I think Mike Tirico, no, he's NBC now, whoever it was, said this has to have an asterisk this has to have an asterisk because of the tripping at the end. And it's like, what?
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are Monday night.
Yeah. I think it was the referee, whoever the referee specialist guy is.
The Gene
an asterisk over.
Oh no,
we're having an asterisk over that.
Yeah, no, we don't need to worry about that. I think both teams are good football teams, but both teams are officially not. We know that they're going to screw up in the playoffs, or if not
somehow,
even the playoffs.
The Bills are in better graces than the
Jets are screwed.
I agree, but Josh Allen is going back to cannot throw accurately Josh Allen, which is a problem for the Bills.
He's
a turnover machine.
Yeah, he hits all like on the PlayStation controller. It's like you hit all the buttons because he freak out. That's what he looks like.
There you go. That's a fair description. All right.
Makes no sense.
Let's talk about the game of the week, in my actual opinion. The best game, because there was no defense involved, would be the Dolphins freaking Chargers game, which was so fun to watch, especially because the Chargers still lost.
Mike McDaniels is a good coach.
No, he's not. How many yards did they give up rushing? 200 something. He's a defensive specialist, and he gave up over 200 yards on the ground to the freaking Chargers.
Mike McDaniels is a run game coordinator.
Well, they couldn't run the ball against freaking the worst run defense in the NFL last year.
Hey, what about Tua though? Are we believers?
Okay, I'm not, because all it takes is him to get hit one time and he'll die.
No, he done jiu-jitsu. He done jiu-jitsu.
He got his jiu-jitsu.
Was it jiu-jitsu or judo? We got to get to the bottom of this.
Whatever one teaches you how to fall, not on your head, and do.
Yeah, well, sometimes you don't really have control because Myles Garrett is going to sack you, and you don't. What the heck was that sound?
I think Taylor Swift just won some award.
Hey, good for Taylor Swift.
I heard a blood-curdling scream, and I was like, somebody just died in my front yard.
Man, I don't know how to mute people on this one, but Blake, you might get muted.
What did she win? Ask Sarah what she won. I mean, Lord of mercy.
Something about the VMAs, which I didn't even know was a thing.
No one cares about the VMAs.
What is the VMAs? Video Music Awards?
Blake, I somehow muted you. Unmute yourself. I swear I didn't mute you, but there we go.
I muted myself.
Yeah, okay.
What is is the VMAs the Video Music
Video Music Awards?
Oh, I'm pretty smart.
Good job.
Congrats,
all right,
Taylor Swift.
Let's get back to the fact that Justin Herbert is just not that guy. I'm sorry. He's not that guy. I know that the national media wants to make him that guy. Justin Herbert got the ball down 2 points with 1 minute and 50 seconds left. And he did nothing.
Yeah.
He actually did not play very well. I didn't even see his stats. 23 of 33 for 228.
I mean, 67% for 238 is not terrible.
51 QBR.
All right, no, don't even get me started on QBR because in the Bears-Packers game, which quarterback do you think had a better QBR, Justin Fields or Jordan Love? Justin Fields had a better QBR, and the score was 38-20, and it was not that close. But Herbert didn't play bad. If you're doing 67% for 238 yards, as long as you're not turning the ball over three times,
not bad.
That's a pretty good day. Now, compared to Tua having 449 yards or whatever it is, I mean,
that's the problem. That's the problem. You throw for 228 in a 21-17 game. That's pretty good. My
point is that. Well, I mean, the Chargers ran the ball great. The Chargers had over 200 yards rushing. And actually, Justin Herbert with the new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, ran the ball a lot more. Like, he would scramble, which I thought was actually effective. The problem was when Justin Herbert gets the ball late in a game to try to go win, he never gets it done, ever.
No.
He's not the guy. He chokes every time.
No, but why do they love Justin? Why does the media
tall, white rocket of an arm?
Here's
he has a rocket of an arm, and he's tall.
Speak with Emmanuel Acho about that.
He does, but my wife gave me the perfect whatever it is called. He was in a SoFi commercial this weekend, and she says, "Why is this guy in a commercial?" She said, "Who is that?" I said, "Oh, that's."
Is she hating on him because he's got acne on his face? Because that's
no. She just said, "Who is it? Why is he in a commercial?" I said, "Oh, that's Justin Herbert." She said, "Who's that?" I said, "Oh, well, he's the quarterback of the Chargers." She said, "Well, why does that matter?" I said, "Exactly. That is the exact point we've been making for years about this guy."
I mean, Justin Herbert. If you want to go 20-0 and win the Super Bowl, here's what you do. You get Justin Herbert for the first 3 quarters, and then you put in Tim Tebow.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do.
Might not be a bad
recipe. I mean, that's how you win. Tim Tebow was clutch at the end of games. And Herbert is the opposite. I don't want to know how many game-winning drives he has at the end of games, but it's low. It's very low. His percentage is really low. While your Mahomes, Tua's, your Tom Brady's are through the roof.
Yeah. That's Mike McDaniel. He's a heck of a coach.
And Brandon Staley is not. But, I mean, it has nothing to do with the coaching aspect of that. It's just whether you're not, you can – if your quarterback gets too nervous at the end of a game to where they can't operate, then it doesn't matter how good coaching you have. He's going to throw the ball out of bounds, take 2 sacks. like Justin Herbert did. All right, can we bring Sarah in on this podcast? Because I'm curious. I'm sorry.
What did she win?
Oh, every big fucking award.
Okay.
What'd she win?
Is anyone surprised that Taylor Swift, after having the most successful
I didn't hear what she won. What did she
stadium
win?
tour of all time?
What did she win?
The 96 Bulls.
This is
My question is, how many drinks has Sarah had tonight? There was a little slurring when I don't know if it's excitement or alcohol, but Sarah came in.
She said this is the 96 Bulls.
Okay, Sarah needs to take that
All right.
excitement somewhere else.
She won Director of the Year, Song of the Year, Video of the Year, whatever other Video of the Year.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she sold billions of dollars worth of stuff for freaking a stadium tour, and she's going international now. So good for her.
Ask Sarah, has she given her tickets to shit?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
All right.
Boycott Taylor Swift. Tell her we need to boycott Taylor Swift.
That'll be $3,000.
We are currently 25 minutes behind schedule, so let's catch up. Other of our main headlines for the week, which this has lasted 30-something minutes, which is only supposed to last 15, but that's okay. Joe Burrow became the highest paid player in NFL history and then threw for 82 yards.
Yeah, that was absolutely pathetic, terrible, awful, everything.
And I don't want to hear that the weather was bad, because even when the weather is bad, you should throw for more than 82 yards.
That was terrible.
He was the Browns defensive line is either amazing or the Bengals offensive line is absolute garbage.
Did y'all see Myles Garrett dribbling between his legs over the
Myles Garrett. I love Myles Garrett is the reason I watch the Browns play football. I love watching him play football.
You can't let that happen.
But we continue here on the Football is King podcast to hope that Deshaun Watson sucks at football. And he did. He threw maybe the worst interception of all time, where he threw a pass directly to a Bengals player, and there was no Browns player on my screen. There was no one around. He threw it straight to his chest, and I don't know if it's because they both wear orange helmets or whatever, but I appreciate the fact that Deshaun
Is that the one where he's rolling out?
He was rolling out, and he threw it like...
Yeah, you didn't even see anyone.
I don't know how... But even if you look at the receiver he was trying to throw it to, it would have like skipped twice to get to him. It was so short, but hit the Bengals defender just square in the chest that I was just like, did he get confused? Is it just because God has cursed him because he's allegedly a sexual assaulter / rapist? I don't know, but it was good to see him be bad at football.
Oh, I just seen this. The Jets to sign Cam Newton.
Is that factual?
That's just speculation.
No way.
Don't do that, because he also is bad. Zach Wilson's not that bad. He's just the 24th best quarterback in the NFL, so he's not good.
Also, you let Zach Wilson play. He's your second number 2 pick. You have an excuse to let him play now because no one can be mad at you. The guy you've got is hurt. Just let him play.
I'm on team. You just keep running the ball like crazy.
That's
and just
right,
hope
yeah.
Zach Wilson doesn't turn it over. And you hope your defense doesn't give up 20 points.
What's his name is amazing at running back. I mean,
Breece Hall. Breece Hall's a beast.
Yes.
Coming off an ACL as well, which is or Achilles. He's coming off one of the two. Yeah,
ACL.
he's coming off a crazy injury. He looked good. Maybe the ACL had him looking a little slow, which is why he got caught while Garrett Wilson celebrated, but that's okay. All right. Finally, our last headline from the week. The Niners looked pretty good.
Yeah, they looked very good.
Yeah, there we go. I just wanted to say the pun. That's all I had on that. They're good. The Steelers, not good. End of analysis. Although, you know what did piss me off about this game is that the 49ers got another good pass rusher. Just out of nowhere. Some nobody, great pass rusher, had 3 sacks.
So they only have 4 of them now.
His name is Drake Jackson. Never heard of this guy.
Never heard of him either. He had 3 sacks?
3 sacks. Defensive end for the San Francisco 49ers out of USC. Like, I mean, I know that you got a bunch of talent, and so that makes it to where everyone's one-on-one, but it's just, they're good.
He was a late second-round pick.
AI robots.
All right.
Yeah, the 49ers are going to be very good.
They're going to be tough to beat. Good for Brock Purdy coming back from a big injury. All right, let's talk about – that was – it only took 41 minutes, but that was section 1 of this podcast.
AI robots were in crowd at SoFi Stadium to
It was just for freaking promotion for a stupid movie. They weren't.
That's not a stupid movie. We need to watch out. We need to lock our doors, get the ARs loaded, and perform. We need to start doing sweeps of our houses before.
That's fine, but you realize that they weren't AI robots. They were literally mannequins.
Yeah,
I don't
people.
care.
They were mannequins.
I saw them walking around though.
Oh, maybe they were
people. They were actors.
You let them walk
they were actors
around.
They
were actors because I saw one of them next to people, and the dude was like 7'10".
Right.
And they were huge.
That's where it starts. You let them walk around. We're just letting them walk around. Oh no, they're just walking around.
It was people.
It was just people. All right. Let's talk about our teams.
Blow their heads off with AR-15.
Apparently, Jonathan has decided that he did not want to be a part of this part of the podcast. Let's talk about the Raiders really fast. The Raiders might have a defense. I don't know if it's just that the Broncos offense is still bad or if the Raiders defense is finally good. Who knows? All I know is that Max Crosby is really good at football.
This is one of those. This is one of those where I have to hold my judgment.
This is one where we don't want to overreact to week 1 because Russell Wilson looked pretty good. The Broncos currently don't have receivers because they're all hurt.
I can't trust Russell Wilson.
That's fine. Max Crosby looks really good at football. I really liked Jacoby Myers for the Raiders, but then he got knocked unconscious, so he's probably not going to play week 2. And Sean Payton is still a crazy person, onside kicking to start the game.
He had been waiting for that for months.
Yeah, since the Super Bowl against the Colts. Yeah. All right, Blake, let's talk about your Falcons. That game was ugly to watch.
That's about what you expect out of an NFC South game.
Desmond Ridder is so bad.
Yeah.
He is so bad.
Bijan is electric.
Bijan's electric, but they barely gave him the ball.
I feel like they're trying to ease him in or something, but they're also going to have – I don't think Cordell Patterson played. I think they're going to have him back here soon.
Algiers just – see, this was my problem with the Falcons is Algier rushed for 1,000 yards last year or whatever it was. Algier's a good running back. So you don't really need Bijan. And I feel like the Falcons just said hey, we'll throw Bijan in every once in a while, but Algier's number 1. And
they took the NBA method where it's you take the best player on the board as opposed to take what you need.
Yeah. Now maybe throw Bijan in the slot and we'll see what happens. But
I feel like as the season goes on, they might use him a little more if they keep winning because I think they're also in the position where it's they could benefit from another good draft pick.
Yeah.
But if they keep winning,
that's true.
You want to win.
But that division is such crap.
That division is such crap. All right, and the last thing on that, Bryce Young, looked like a rookie.
He had some moments.
He looked like a rookie.
Yeah.
Speaking of that division, the Saints game, also very ugly to watch, but they win. Good for y'all.
Derek Carr, man, he's a Super Bowl champ.
he is actually not a Super Bowl champion, and he has
Never
not
been
won
to
a
the
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
He's gonna be.
He might be in the future, but the Titans, if Ryan Tannehill can throw a ball somewhat accurately, they win that game easily.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't even be close. It'd been a
Like,
Not
three-possession
only that,
game.
if Dennis Allen doesn't call stupid plays on 3rd and long, 3rd and short, he's a crap coach. Well,
yeah, and Tannehill put up an all-time bad QB performance.
Yes, QBR was 10.3.
Yeah.
That's another one where it's hard to you got to not overreact to that because
Yeah, you
Vrabel,
do. Can we
Vrabel-
finally get to the point to say that Tannehill was a wide receiver in college and should not be an NFL quarterback?
But I think
because he shouldn't.
I saw another tweet this weekend that said, "Is Tannehill the only guy in the league that has been in the only quarterback in the league that's been here for 10 years and we still don't know what he is?"
No, we do know what he is. He's a terrible
But he shows
quarterback.
moments where you're like, "Oh, he's competent."
He is dependent on Derrick Henry.
Yes, agreed.
All the years that he is good is the years that Derrick Henry was amazing. And when Derrick Henry is not, he sucks because Tannehill sucks.
That stiff arm that Derrick Henry gave in the first quarter or whatever it was, that was salty.
The Saints were lucky to win that sucker. I know that.
It was, but even Derrick Henry didn't look that good.
No.
Nah, he had a couple runs that were pretty good, but that was an ugly football game.
Keep it going. My team was the only team to lose this weekend out of our teams, and the Chiefs lost. It was a decent game. It was a decent, fun watch. It was close for the first game of the season. Everyone's already hammered this to death, so we won't go into that much detail. Kadarius Toney doesn't know how to catch.
He sucks.
He
looked bad.
I don't even care because he won us a Super Bowl, so he can do whatever he wants forever. I thought, in my opinion, that the Chiefs and Lions defenses looked better than I would have anticipated for both of them. That's what I got out of this game.
Yeah, it's another one not to overreact to.
I think Chris Jones is the biggest sucker out of that whole thing.
Yeah, so I like who was it that said this take? I apologize because I'm not going to remember your name. I think Chris Jones has been screwed by his agent, where he's been trying to get $10 million extra for signing bonus or whatever, but at the same time, he has now lost almost $10 million because of his holdout. But the agent hasn't lost any money.
No. And the new contract is not even.
Yeah,
it's all incentive based.
So and now he's missed a game. Whoa! All right, now we're not wearing a shirt, so that's fun. But yeah, I think Chris Jones is definitely the person who has lost out on this deal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, and finally, the best team of the weekend out of our teams was the Dallas Cowboys, 40-0.
But that's another one where I'm like, what even just happened?
I know I just hopped on here, but I don't actually think they're as good as they showed.
No,
I think New York is fucking terrible.
No, but their defense is going to be so much fun to watch.
Their defense will be good, but that O-line could go down as one of the worst O-lines I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
the Cowboys.
No, New York.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Dude, yeah, Evan Neal. What is can you talk about someone being drafted in the first round and then just every year just plummets?
Johnny, this isn't Pornhub.
I had a pack for a bachelor party and I laid in bed to answer.
It's Tuesday night. Why are you going to a bachelor party?
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Why is this bachelor party start on a Wednesday?
We're going to New Orleans tomorrow and we come back Sunday.
All right. That's a long bachelor party.
Can't wait. I'm excited.
All right. We're going to introduce a new segment for this year for the NFL to keep things on track, even though we are still we've gained time. We're only 18 minutes behind now. It's going to be called Quick Hits because puns. We're going to go through the rest of the games. And we're going to go through the rest of the games, and maximum we get 2 minutes per game, which we can't go over. If we start to go over, I'm just cutting us off. We're moving on. Jags, Colts. Let's say our things.
Jags might be good.
Colts win.
Jags are good. Colts are bad.
See,
although my boy Gardner got in the game, baby.
What I got out of that game is that Trevor Lawrence is the new Jameis Winston. He's good, but he's going to turn the ball over 30 times per year.
I think towards the end of it, I think the first half was ugly. Then he kind of figured it out a little bit.
I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be our next 30 for 30. It might not be this year, but he's going to be our next 30 for 30.
I think Christian Kirk killed my fantasy team because he had zero freaking.
Well, I wouldn't have picked him.
Dude,
all right.
Everyone projected him to be great.
Yeah, but then they went and got Calvin Ridley, who's a freaking monster.
Yeah, he is
crazy.
All right. Quick hit number 2, Bucks Vikings.
Yeah, don't overreact to that one either. The Bucks are still bad.
And
Bucks defense is good though. The Bucks defense might be good.
I think the Vikings are average as they were last year as well.
So all I wrote for this one is that water has finally reached this level on the Minnesota Vikings.
Agreed.
All of the one-score games they won last year, and they finally lost one. There you go.
The old white moms are still going to love Kirk Cousins.
I mean, Kirk Cousins still going to be a media darling. He threw a terrible pick to end the first half. And if he doesn't throw that pick, they win that game easily, but whatever.
Yeah.
My boy Baker telling cornerbacks to get their weight up.
Darlene and Bobby Ray are still going to have their jobs as body gurus.
Shoot. Yeah. I forget who did the Bucks play this week?
They play
the
Bears.
That game is so hard to pick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Game's going to be electric.
They both suck.
They both suck. Hey, speaking of teams who suck, the Cardinals and the Commanders played each other this weekend.
What in the world? Both those teams suck.
No, the Cardinals, in my opinion, are not a bad team. But give it a second. They followed the strategy that every team that is ever purposefully tanking follows. They looked like a competent, good football team in the first half. And then they just completely lost on purpose in the second half.
They gave up 10 points in the fourth quarter.
But no, and they also scored like 0 in the second half. They just stopped playing in the second half. Josh Dobbs looked decent, and then all of a sudden was like, I'm a rocket scientist, but I'm going to act like an idiot. And then did that.
That's the problem with having a guy as smart as Josh Dobbs as your backup or signing him, whatever they did, to be your quarterback is you can't have someone that smart come in to lose you games because he's too smart.
No, they're just pulling a Brian Flores, okay? They're going to look strong in the first half, and then they're going to lose on purpose in the second half. I guarantee you this week they play the Giants. I guarantee you that game is going to be close in the first half and then become a blowout in the second half. Guarantee it.
What are you thinking if you're Kyler Murray, though? You're like, they're literally losing so they can pick my replacement.
Okay. Kyler Murray, I don't think cares.
I mean, if I'm Kyler Murray, I'm thinking I'm going to go play baseball and make a crap ton of money doing that.
Right.
Where baseball players get paid more than football players and don't get hurt. So let's do that.
Yeah, but it's a lot more games taking you away from Fortnite.
Get that.
What do you mean? You can play Fortnite on the road?
Call of Duty, but you got to be at the ballpark in the evening.
Who cares? Play in the morning. Play the Europeans.
They're not even a real team anymore. They disbanded.
FaZe Clan disbanded?
Yeah, FaZe Clan's gone.
Oh, no way. What a great travesty.
All right, we went over 2 minutes. Here we go. Next game, the Texans versus the Ravens.
Yeah.
Boom.
The Ravens, both are bad, maybe.
No, the Ravens will be fine.
The Texans look.
Lamar Jackson might start his MVP run on that game.
No, he won't on that game. But the best part about that game, did y'all know? Scoregami.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
25-9. You got to talk about it. We had a 25-9 scoregami week 1.
We're going to run out of scoregamis here very shortly.
Surely we have to, right? There's only so many combinations.
They said that was the 1,039th unique score in NFL history. We've got to be running out.
Is the Survivor Pick'em already dead too, or whatever?
17% of people are dead for sure.
It got really close. So I follow the Circa Survivor League very closely because it's the biggest Survivor League in the United States, I guess. And there were so many teams sweating their balls off because 38.3% of the picks picked the Commanders to beat the Cardinals, and the Cardinals were winning that game for the entire game. And then the
Seahawks, I think, were like 17 or 18%.
Yeah, there were so many teams. The top 1 and top 2 teams that were picked, they were losing the entire time, and then they came back and won. So that was a bummer. But yeah, it's great. My favorite part about the Circa Survivor League, which I believe the buy-in is like $10,000 for the year. 31 teams didn't get their first entrance in on time, so they immediately lost like 10 grand. It's great. I love it. People are stupid.
Just get the.
Or they got too much money.
Yeah, or they have too much money. And they're losing 10,000 on purpose. All right, keep it going. Packers versus Bears.
That's another one let's not overreact to. The Bears are bad. The Bears are bad.
Let's properly react. Justin Fields sucks and the Bears suck.
I will say on the Packers side, do not overreact. The Bears suck. They're terrible. Justin Fields is terrible, just as we all said.
There's a reason they were the number 1 pick last year.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Dude, the guy looked like Justin Fields looks like a disbanded army member. He's garbage.
Wait,
you know what?
hold on. There were flashes of.
No.
There were flashes, dude. There were flashes.
I was so excited to watch that game.
I was even able to watch. So like,
I was so excited to watch it. What a buzzkill that was.
I thought Jordan Love looked very good.
He didn't look bad.
He looked fine.
Aaron Jones had a freaking day.
Aaron Jones is good, but we knew he's good.
But Justin Fields, there's glimpses if he can play his way.
If you play zone defense against the Bears, you will dominate.
I will say
Justin Fields will stare his receiver down the entire time.
Oh yeah.
And then if he doesn't throw it to that one receiver, he's just going to take off.
I'm pretty sure he threw a pick where the defender didn't even move.
Yeah.
No, I did see that one. Yeah, that did happen.
But I will say the Packers might be good though. In the NFC, the Packers might be good.
In my opinion, I still think that the Packers will win the NFC North.
They might, because their defense is good. Their defense is
legit. Their defense is good, and their offense is not going to be electric, but they're going to be tolerable.
You just got to be. We saw it 2 years ago where they got all the way to the NFC Championship, but they got dog walked because they couldn't play defense against a run. But you just got to be.
Their defense will be good.
Yeah, you just got to be serviceable.
All right. Also, my last point on that game is someone needs to check our boy Dan Orlovsky, who said that Justin Fields will be playing MVP caliber football this year.
Yeah, no.
0 for 1, Dan.
He's
0 for 1.
Dan Orlovsky makes a lot of balls.
I don't know why we love Justin Fields. He is not good.
No, I think it's Dan Orlovsky just throws shit at the wall.
No, the national media loves Justin Fields.
They all love him. Yeah,
they don't take into effect on how bad the Bears defense is.
They also love Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins
wins.
Yeah.
They love Justin Fields off of winning 3 games last year.
Shane, Kirk Cousins is the first quarterback to Kirk Cousins ruined the quarterback market. He was the first quarterback to get the mega deal because he is good, except for when it matters most. That is very bad.
But there's 15 franchises that would take Kirk Cousins any day of the week.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree, but it's just I still put him in the same type of.
Do not disrespect Kirk Cousins like that.
Kirk gets a lot of crap because he's probably like the 8th best quarterback in the league. And he's never going to be able to flash to top 5.
Lower.
He's top 10.
Maybe, if he's lucky.
But he'll never be number 1. But every team in the league wants a guy that's about top 10.
If you put Kirk Cousins in if you traded right now Kirk Cousins to the San Francisco 49ers, they might go 20-0.
Yeah.
That's fair.
In the right situation, Kirk Cousins is like a very, very good quarterback.
And then
Kyle Shanahan might think about that.
Purdy. He's got Brock Purdy looking pretty good. All right. The Eagles almost lost to the Patriots, and honestly, you probably
That's another
should
one.
have lost to the Patriots.
I don't even know what to make of that.
Here's what you make of it. Belichick is a good coach. So all these doofuses out there, like Skip Bayless, that say that Tom Brady is the reason the Patriots were great for so long, look at the freaking defense that Bill Belichick puts together every year and how great they look and how well of a coach team they look. And then
It turns out it's not just a quarterback that matters.
Yeah.
I agree with
Mac
Austin in this one.
I mean, like Kadarius Toney type throw, tipped pass, pick six is the reason why they don't win that game.
Yeah.
And their defense looks decent, I assume.
Also, the
not
fact
gonna lie,
that
it was 16-0, so I turned it off.
A freaking Booty from LSU or whatever or wherever he went.
Kayshon Boutte.
Kayshon Booty forgot the fact that he plays in the professional league and didn't drag his toe is the reason why they lost that game.
There was a couple of them plays with rookies this week. I saw one on a guy that went down.
From the
he
Colts.
went down and he didn't keep going because he thought he was down.
Yeah.
And he could have probably gone for a lot more.
That was in the Lions game. It was Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs slipped. And then in the Colts game, the rookie picked up the fumble and didn't hear the whistle, and he just stood there with it like that, and then they stripped it.
They hit
and
it
got
out.
the touchdown, yeah.
Those are the type of rules that I think should be transparent through college and NFL. It's like
it's very transparent. You play to the freaking whistle.
Yeah.
They told you that in Pop Warner. Figure it out.
That's true.
All right, and finally, our last NFL game to talk about, the Rams beat the Seahawks, and I don't know if you're listening to my boy Michael Lombardi, you knew this game was happening because the Rams are healthy right now, and when the Rams are healthy, they are a good football team.
I didn't see that coming from a mile away. I'm not going to lie.
Because Matthew Stafford, last year they were so bad because Stafford had so many injuries. Donald had so many injuries. Their team was screwed with injuries. But when they're healthy, they're a decent team. Now, are they going to win the Super Bowl or their division?
No.
Absolutely not. Will they make the playoffs? Probably not. But can they win games? For sure.
The biggest part of the game was Geno Smith yelling, "Oh my God!"
Oh God! Yeah.
That's
fair.
Aaron Donald coming. I do always wonder, because I do love Michael Lombardi, and I'm always wondering, am I and Austin the only ones that listen to him? Because I think he's smart as hell. He knows what he's talking about.
I mean, he's a Super Bowl winning general manager, so yes, he does.
Yes, but it seems like some people take him as a buffoon. He's not. He's not.
I'll give them this. He is not a good speaker.
No, he's not.
He stumbles over his words a lot. He gets names wrong all the time. I listen to his actual podcast.
Yeah,
which I would never plug that on our podcast. And he says the wrong name like 80 times per podcast. It's bad.
But if you listen to him, you know what he's talking about.
Correct. It's because he watches every single game multiple times per week that he just gets the names confused. And he just is studying tape.
I like him. I think he's too smart.
I do as well. You know who's not too smart? The three coaches who have ended up on the Brandon Staley coaching malpractice tracker this week. Starting off, we have Mr. Shane Steichen. Is his first name Shane? I don't remember.
Yep.
Yeah, Shane Steichen, who decided it was all right. This one drove me insane. They were down 10 with 1:30 to go, and it's 4th down. And he didn't kick the field goal.
I was trying to rationalize
don't you dare.
This. I'm rationalizing it.
Don't you dare.
They were on the 2-yard line, weren't they?
No, they were on the 7-yard line.
I think he was this is going to be our best chance to get the touchdown. So we got to go for it.
You kick the field goal.
For sure.
No field goal.
No doubt. But I was trying to rationalize it in my head, and that's the one thing I could think of is
so
we may not be here again.
Shane Steichen, first-year head coach, first game already on the list. Now, it would not be the Brandon Staley coaching malpractice tractor without our boy Brandon Staley making the freaking list.
Gotta love him. Gotta love him.
It's not the reason they lost the game. However, they lost by 2, and this stupid boneheaded coaching decision gave the Miami Dolphins a free field goal. You have Tua Tagovailoa as the freaking opposing quarterback trying to throw a Hail Mary at the end of the half. And you have your players do a defensive pass interference on the 30-yard line. Tua threw the ball to the 30-yard line. There was, as time had already expired, and you have your players so poorly coached that they just do a blatant PI for no reason, and that gives up a field goal, and then you lose by 2. Sorry, Brandon Staley, you made the list.
Well, no reason.
Won't be the last time.
Named after him.
It will not be the last time. And then our final one, my other buffoon that I love to put on these because he is stupid. Our boy Nick Sirianni. He's got some dogs out there in Philadelphia. But they're up 5 with a minute and 57 seconds left in the game on like the 47-yard line. It's 4th and 2. Patriots have 0 timeouts, and he goes for it and doesn't get it and gives the Patriots a short field. And if Booty, as we already talked about, would get his freaking second foot down, and remember he's in freaking professional football, then the Patriots win that game.
Hey, you are missing one.
Please.
Not Mike McCarthy, Dan Campbell against the Kansas City Chiefs. We don't care about production. We care about the calls. It's 4th and whatever on his own.
He got it. Smart decision.
I don't care if he
Blake,
got it.
we are not results oriented on this podcast.
He got it.
It's 4th and whatever on his own 20-yard line, and he's calling a freaking run play. No, you don't do that.
My point on this is it was the reason why I don't add him to the list, which I thought about it, is he didn't keep his offense on the field. He looked for a specific scenario in the punt team and ran a fake punt.
That's true.
It was early enough in the game where it's probably not going to lose you the game. It could, but it's probably not going to lose you the game. And so that's why I didn't add him to the list. If he would have just had Jared Goff in there and shotgun and ran the ball, he would have started the list.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I also didn't add Andy Reid from the same game going for it for 4th and 25 because you have Patrick Mahomes and he threw a laser that hit Sky Moore right in the hands past the first down marker and he dropped it.
The Lions and Chiefs game could have took up 4 of these coaching malpractice.
But also, it was so close to the 2-minute warning that it was still, if the Lions got a first down, that the game was over, and the Lions got the first down, and the game was over. So it wouldn't have mattered if they punted or not. Like, the Chiefs would have never got the ball back. So that's why I did not add Andy Reid. But Andy Reid was if I wanted to add Andy Reid to this coaching malpractice, it would be on 2nd and 3rd and 1. He took the ball out of Mahomes' hands twice and ran these cheeky, stupid plays.
Yeah.
And he lost 4 yards.
There's one at the goal line. I think that was like, what? Yeah. Why'd you do that?
Andy was too cute trying to be in his bag this week. That's whatever. All right. We did it. We're only 10 minutes behind schedule, so that's fine. It's time. We're always going to, on the college football episode, talk about our previous picks from the week before. And on the NFL, we'll talk about our new picks. So, Blake, would you lead us off with your 3 picks?
I got Indianapolis -1 against Houston, I believe. Because what in the world?
It is a pick'em game. How healthy is Anthony Richardson is the question to that game.
Agreed, but Houston's bad.
Houston's defense played pretty decent, I would say. But sorry.
Agreed, but their offense is terrible. Then I have Las Vegas plus 9.5. That's just an NFL system play.
I assume you're talking about the Raiders in that scenario?
Yes. Yeah. Anything close to 10 is like, what in the world is that?
Yep.
And then I have a system play. I'll be at the game. Green Bay minus 1.5.
Ooh.
That might be an overreaction from the last week, but
it's fair. I mean, Desmond Ridder looks really, really bad, and they're going to.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that the Falcons can score enough points to keep up with them.
Yeah. All right, Shane, you got 3 picks for me?
Yep, I got the New York Giants minus 5.5 versus the Cardinals. Then I got the Miami Dolphins minus 2.5 versus the Patriots.
Okay, this is the line. If we're talking about rat line of the week,
yeah.
It is this one right here where the Dolphins looked so freaking good. Tyreek looked unstoppable. And when that opening line was minus 1.5, I was like, what do I not know?
You know I love a rat line, so this is
That's
what
fair.
I got.
It's the Patriots, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belichick is what you don't know.
Yeah, that's
the Patriots did play the Dolphins well last year in Foxborough, which the
2.5 is what gets me. It's like if it was 3.
Yeah. My point was Tua wasn't the quarterback in that game. Tua was out unconscious. Yeah. So I like that line.
And then I got Mississippi State plus 9.5 against LSU.
Oh my gosh, that's humongous.
Yeah, that's why I took it.
Yeah. Maybe LSU. Is that in Baton Rouge? Maybe they figured it out.
Gotta be in Baton Rouge.
No, I think it's in Mississippi State.
Oh, those cowbells are gonna be ringing in.
Cowbell.
All right, Jonathan, you got picks for me as well?
Hi, yep.
It's yep. It's at Mississippi State.
Yeah, I'll take that 9.5.
I'm taking Oklahoma State over South Alabama minus 7. They have to be able to beat South Alabama by more than 7.
Yep. Yes, they do.
They have to.
They have to.
All right. This one. You know what? I'm going to go off the beaten path here. I'll take the Dallas Cowboys minus 9.5 over the New York Jets.
That's a scary one to me.
That's bold. All right. So I appreciated this line because as someone who looks at gambling lines pretty early on in the week, this line opened before the Jets played at Dallas minus 3. And I was like, yep, I don't even care how good the Jets look. Give me the Dallas Cowboys at home at minus 3. And it jumped to minus 9.5 today. And so if I was doing some actual gambling, which I am not, as I'm in the state of Texas, I do not live in South Africa like my comrades here. And so, but for my gambling spreadsheet, I was like, I'm locking I thought the Cowboys were going to win at minus 3 at home for sure. All right, go ahead, Jonathan.
I'm doing 2 NFL games.
Ooh.
Which I think maybe I did 2 NFL games all season last year.
I think that week 2 is the hardest week to gamble in NFL football games.
Well, I'm doing 2. I am taking the New Orleans Saints minus 3 over Carolina.
Who that?
New Orleans keeps being favored by just a field goal in games that I look at the rosters and say they should dominate. And guess what? Week 1, they didn't cover. So I stayed away from this week. But I was looking at that game too because I was like, they should dominate the Panthers. Their defense is so good. And Derek Carr isn't that bad. That their offense should be decent.
My boy Derek Carr.
And they just weren't.
Going to go out and take care of business.
But I like the pick. I would be on the Saints on that line. I just wouldn't bet my money if I had to. All right. I took Liberty minus 3.5 over some bum team. I can't even remember the name. But I love Liberty football. I also took Oklahoma State -7 over South
They
Alabama
have
because
to.
there's
They
no
have
way.
to.
There's no way.
It's South Alabama.
And I debated on it for a long period of time, but I think that everyone is overreacting, and I think that the Giants are going to cover -5.5 against the Cardinals. I think it's going to be a sweat in the first half, and then the Cardinals do what the team that wants the number 1 pick does. They're going to suck in the second half on purpose. And I think that the Giants are going to get it done because their defense is still pretty good. All right. And that is going to do it for us on episode 2 of the week of the Football is King podcast. We're running a little bit behind, so we'll talk about fantasy football stuff next week, hopefully, if we can keep up to date or up to our time. But we didn't want to make it too long. We will see you next time. Thank you for listening. Remember, like and subscribe. Have a good one, everybody.
All right,